Watching for Israel coming back at you with these precepts and another cold cut, giving, of course, all honor and all glory to Yahweh. Double honor to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting for the second coming of Mashiach Yahushua. A hearty, mighty shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there in the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their body as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying. They're fasting. They're studying. They're being diligent and abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the Aquath out there, the sincere sisters out there, holding it down in the household, to reference to the husbands, being submissive and diligent, and moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom, shalom. And shalom to everybody tuning in live and that will tune in, Lord willing. This will be a before camp warning. A before camp warning on my way to camp through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel. Rooted and built up. Right? Rooted and built up is the topic of this cold cut. I mean, there's a great period of falling away, and it's one of the heaviest years of falling away I've seen, since I've been in the truth. I have been in the truth, 20 years, 30 years, like a lot of ancient men and elders, but for the time period I've been in, about 10 years or so, this is one of the greatest time periods of falling away that I've seen. I mean, I see former leaders of congregations linking up with Esau and get confounded by Esau the Edomite, right? I see brothers falling away and being sifted out by diverse doctrines that make absolutely no sense. These are doctrines that they would have dismantled and completely annihilated at one time in their life in the truth. And now these same doctrines are overthrowing brothers, man, and sifting brothers out. We're seeing brothers getting sifted out by women, right? We're seeing, there's a lot of spirits going on the earth right now, man. And you want to make sure that you're rooted. And I'm going to do a lot of paraphrasing. I'm not going to be able to pull, 1,000 precepts. I'm not going to be able to stop and read, right? But I'll paraphrase through the spirit and power of Yahweh Yahushua. Right? The Lord said in Colossians chapter 2 and 6, rooted and built up in him, and established in the faith, and abounding therein with thanksgiving, greatly paraphrasing. So you have to be rooted in this truth. You have to constantly ask yourself, are you rooted? What does it mean to be rooted? To be rooted means to have a foundation, right? To be unshakable, to be unmovable, like a tree that's rooted. Trees don't just fall when they get pushed by man. They don't fall even when the first axe hits it, man. Right? They don't fall even when there's like a tropical storm or something like that, man. It takes a lot for a tree to be removed out of its place, man. It takes heavy winds for a tree to be removed out of its place, man. Brothers have to have a sure foundation, man. You can't be a brother that is easily persuaded to go into other doctrines, or you're easily persuaded by demons to move in a way that is not good, man. I was watching the video of I don't know if brothers remember, right? Maybe brothers has been in the truth for a longer period of time. You remember the brother Youre, right? He had one of the most prolific truth videos. It was pretty climactic. It was, the edits were on fire, and the precepts was even more on fire. And the brother was going into Deuteronomy 28. He was the balder brother. He had glasses on, and the brother, that video had, I think, like close to 1 million views. And everybody was trying to figure out what happened to that brother, right? Every brother was concerned. Hey, where's that brother at? He was doing a lot of videos, right? We don't see that brother anymore. He stopped doing the work. Now the video surfaces of this man with the most infamous, despiteful title that's called "Why I Left the Hebrew Israelites," bro. why I left the Hebrew Israelites. And then I did myself a favor, and I went on YouTube and I just typed it in. I typed in why I left the Hebrew Israelites. And there's not just one video that pops up with that man. I mean, there's over 30 videos, right? Maybe more than that, of people doing videos on why they left the Hebrew Israelites, right? T. Sellers said, yeah, I remember him, huh? Right? Why I left the Hebrew Israelites. Now, anytime somebody's saying they left the Hebrew Israelites, it's not them leaving, it's they got sifted out. Right? The Lord said in Luke chapter 22 and 31, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. Right? That's what Yahweh told Peter. So it's not a matter of people leaving the truth. You don't have to take out of his place and takes away your Holy Spirit. Especially if you're not rooted. If you're not rooted, I mean, you're liable to follow anything, bro. You're liable to be influenced, like by your worldly family, concerning holidays and, you know, folly and sin. You're susceptible to other books and doctrines, right? You're susceptible to women sifting you out. Brothers have to pray that the Most High, Yahweh Bashmel Shai, gives you a sure foundation, right? And you want to be assured of, like we went into at camp, as we closed camp, we went into 2 Timothy chapter 3 and 14 last night, where the Lord says, be assured of what thou hast been taught. And a lot of brothers aren't assured of what they've been taught. They have that curiosity spirit. Well, what if? Or well, I like that. Or that sounds good. And then you get enticed by things, man. Or you may have a secret sin and you like a doctrine that enables that sin. Right? That's why brothers go into other doctrines too, because other doctrines require less discipline. So you don't want to be disciplined from the jump. Therefore, you want to entertain that doctrine because you have itching ears. That's 2 Timothy chapter 4 and 3 on down. For the time will come where they will not endure sound doctrine, right? But after their own lust, shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears, and shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall turn into fables, paraphrasing. So this is that time right now. When brothers have itching ears, there's a big itch going around, huh? There's a big itch in Israel where brothers are just following anything, huh? The demon that's in their own mind. Some brothers read, and there's a demon telling them that, hey, look, this isn't real. Well, that's a contradiction. Well, that doesn't make sense. That's what that brother Yerushalayim was going into, man. That brother Yerushalayim who did that video, why I left the Hebrew Israelites, he wasn't rooted, man. You know? He wasn't rooted. He went into the fact that he couldn't figure out why modern day science didn't link up with the Bible, and why the Bible didn't have certain answers to certain questions. So that means you're not rooted, huh? Right? Because you went to teach, and the Lord said in Hebrews chapter 5 and 12 on down, for when the time comes ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be one of the first principles of the oracles of God, right? So a lot of brothers get all jammed up because you hasty to teach, and then you go back and you read and you're like, well, hold on, this doesn't make sense, because you shouldn't be teaching, man. A lot of brothers rush in this truth, man. It's okay to take your time. It's okay. You don't have to teach immediately, man. Everybody's not a teacher, right? You don't have to join the camp immediately, man. You got to find out. You got to figure yourself out to a certain extent, man. You want to be confident in what you have been taught. Don't just go out there and teach because you've seen somebody else teach, man. A lot of brothers are teaching, but they don't really have a foundation. That's why they teach one doctrine one year and another doctrine another year, man. Every year there's some new doctrine. Right? That's happened with the camp in Texas, man. One Bible. 1 minute they're teaching the truth, and I'll call it what it is, man. Then the next minute, okay, Yahweh Shai didn't do any miracles. Then the next minute, these people that are Edomites are really the Israelites, man. There's always some addition to the doctrine. Now we can't hate. right? Now Jonah didn't get swallowed by an actual whale. That means you're not rooted. You're not rooted. 1 Timothy chapter 1 and 7 on down. It says, desiring to be teachers of the law, neither understanding what they say, whereunto they affirm. Right? So you know, take your time in this truth, man. It takes time for trees to have root. Right? They don't grow their roots overnight. It takes time, huh? When that seed is planted within the soil, it has to germinate, right? And then it has to sprout, and it has to... Right? So like it is Satan taking away the word. Right? Can brothers see me and or hear me? Right? Let me know if you can see and or hear me. I'm frozen. Right? I don't know if I'm frozen or not. Right? But oh, we can see in here. Okay, all praise to the Most High. So that's Satan right there. Right? But to the point, going back to the point, some brothers or sisters, right, were rooted for a period of time, but then, you know, the Most High took away their roots, man, from the living water and rooted. Especially in these last days, these demons are working heavy, man. A demon that manifests itself through your job, through a doctrine, through a woman, through something that sounds good. You gotta be rooted, man. You gotta be rooted. You have to take your time in this truth. Take your time to study. Be the church of Berea in Acts 17 and 11. Right? Where it says these were more noble than the church in Thessalonica, and that they received the word with all readiness of mind and searched the scriptures daily, whether those things were so. And it's okay to go back over something, man. I was telling brothers at the closing of camp, a lot of brothers, you suppress. And that's what that guy Yerushalayim said. You suppress your questions, man. You really don't believe in a doctrine, but you kind of just going with it. You have a spirit of conformity, whereas you just follow the masses. Right? You really don't believe that Yahushua had a biological father. You secretly believe in the Immaculate Conception, but you never really brought it out on the forefront. Therefore, you're not rooted. Or you secretly believe all nations can be saved, but you don't want to say nothing because you don't want to get put out of the church or out of your camp. You got to bring that stuff out, man. Say, hey, look, this scripture don't make no sense to me. I'm not getting it right now. Can you show me why we teach that this is that, or what this means? Right? And the brother, he'll explain it to you, man. Don't have that spirit of conformity, because it's going to lead to you not being rooted. Right? It's going to lead for you not to be rooted, man. That's why we do Q&As. We have that time where brothers can ask questions, so they can actually make sure that foundation is laid, man. Right? So the brother asks, how do we stay rooted? Well, you stay rooted by being patient as you come into this truth, by studying. You understand? That's how you stay rooted, by not being easily persuaded. When people present doctrine to you, don't just follow it, man. Interrogate it. Have a natural spiritual reflex to defend what you was taught. You know? Because some people, they know that you're not studied, so they're going to come to you. That's why a lot of brothers get tossed to and fro, because certain men know that they can come at certain men. I mean, they just know. They know you're not studying, man. They know you're not strong, right? So they'll come after you like a predator. That's Acts 20 and 28 on down. Even the Apostle Paul said, "For I know after my departing shall grievous wolves enter in, not sparing the flock." Right? And some of your own selves shall men arise, drawing away disciples after them, paraphrasing. So certain men are going to come after men, knowing that these men aren't going to buck up. They're not going to question them. Right? They're not going to study. They haven't been studying. And those are the men that kind of get sifted out. The men that don't really that are new. You know, they're not saying, look, I'm gonna look into that, give me a minute. They just go with it, huh? Right? So being rooted, first of all, it takes time. Second of all, you have to study. Third of all, don't just have an open ear to everything, huh? That's why it's important for brothers to have a congregation at times, or to have an elder, or to have somebody that teaches them, right? And go with what your teacher has taught you. Now, if you have questions, ask your teacher, right? Every camp has, elders or teachers or whatever. Don't be a solo Israelite. Those are a lot of brothers that aren't rooted too, right? Because they're solo, and they don't really know what's true and what's not true, right? Because they're just walking in this thing blindly, right? So you're living in the last days, man. You're living in the end of the world, and Satan, pursuing the Revelation 12:11 on down, he knew that he had a short time, right? This is a great falling away going on. A lot of people are falling out the truth. A lot of people are falling victim to diverse doctrines, right? A lot of people are falling victim to women. A lot of people are falling victim to demons, man. And that should charge your spirit to say, hold on, there's a lot of falling away going on. Let me make sure I'm zealous. I'm fastidious. That's a good word. I'm fastidious concerning the truth and the doctrine, right? I'm studying. I'm praying for discernment. That's another good thing to pray for. When you come in this truth, pray that the Most High gives you discernment. Pray that Yahweh B'Shem Rashad, leads you in a plain path, right? He gives you his doctrine, right? These are beautiful things, man, that you should pray for when you come in this truth. And the Most High will give you these things. You pray that the Lord gives you his doctrine, a plain path. He keeps you away from strange doctrine. The Most High makes you rooted. You have to throw these prayers up to the Most High, man. And then you have to study. And the Most High is going to lead you into the right direction. And you pray with discernment, you fast for discernment, you won't be tossed to and fro. It's just not going to happen because you have applied the counsel that was given to you, right? But with that, this has just been a quick before camp warning. Headed to camp, make sure you are rooted in this truth and built up and established in the faith. Don't have itching ears. Don't be a child pursuant to Ephesians 4:14, where you're tossed to and fro by every wind of doctrine and by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie and wait to deceive. Certain people are just looking to deceive you, man. Right? So stay rooted in this truth. I'm going to close up, give it all honor and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Rashad. Most High willing you were edified. Kwam Yasha.